Hello, good evening, folks. How you doing, Danixa? How you doing, Chani?
Fine.
Okay, very good. So we're gonna give you two minutes more, for waiting the rest, right?
Okay, teacher.
Chicos, alguien se conectó como Samsung SM A56. ¿Quién es?
Yo, teacher.
Nombre.
Scarlett.
Thank you.
Ya cambié el nombre, teacher.
Thank you. Okay, folks, good evening. To this session. Today, folks, we're going to talk about two different languages teaching methods as total physical response, as you know, that's better known as TPR, and a little review of Suggestopedia. Why review? Because remember that in some of the previous sessions, we were discussing Suggestopedia as well. Remember, folks, that these methods were created to make language learning more natural and enjoyable, right? So throughout this session, folks, we're going to look at how what they came from, right? How they work, and what are their advantages and disadvantages, right? And nowadays, how a teacher can use in today's classrooms. So, before starting with the speaking question, folks, I would like to listen to you by selecting one number from 1 to 5. And we're gonna start with Danixa. Danixa, choose one number from 1 to 5.
Eh, Juan.
Okay. Shannon Quadra, could you please choose one number from 1 to 5?
Yes,
I didn't hear you.
teacher, can you?
Could could you please choose one number from 1 to 5?
Hello.
¿Me escucha, Shannon? Ok, no le escucho a Shannon.
Two,
Francisco.
teacher. Two.
Okay, 2, Shannon. Thank you. Francisco,
Yes, teacher.
one number from 1 to 5.
4.
4, thank you. Scarlett,
Number 5.
number 5, thank you. Camila,
Number 3.
number 3. Very good, very good. So, now I'm gonna show you some questions, okay, that we got. I brought just 5 questions, and the number that you have chosen, it's the number of the question, okay? Here in this slide, we got question number 1, question number 2, and question number 3. Please take a screenshot. Those ones have number 1, 2, and 3. Ready? Okay, good. Now here we got the question number 4 and question number 5. take a picture. In this case, Francisco and Scarlett. Question 4 and question 5, okay? So I'm gonna give you 3 minutes, folks. 3 minutes for analyzing carefully each question, and then we're gonna start providing your own answer about them, right? Okay, 3 minutes, folks. Anna, could you please choose one number from 1 to 3?
One, number one.
Okay. So you got your questions there on the screen, on the screen, right?
The first one, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me know when you're ready, folks. We're going to start with Danixa. Danixa, please read your question first and then provide your answer.
Okay. ¿Me escucha?
Yeah.
Have you ever learned something new while listening to music or in a relaxed environment? Describe the experience and explain how the atmosphere might have affected your learning process. Um, yes, I have. I have because I learned new English vocabulary by listening to songs. For
Mhm.
me, it's a relaxed environment, helped me because I was calm and I could focus better. And also, music made learning more fun and easier to remember.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Danixa.
Okay.
Shannon, could you please read your question and start providing your own answer, please?
Yes, my question is think about a time when you learn a new skill by watching someone demonstrated it and then copying their movements or action. What was the skill and how effective was this method for you compared to traditional instruction? My skill that I learned was how to use professional photo editing
Mm-hmm.
by watching tutorial, watching videos, and immediately replicating the step. This method was easy to understand because I learned the process in a real time and apply the that what I learned than reading a traditional instruction manual.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Shannon. Question number three, Camila, please read and then stop providing your answer, please.
Okay, so the question number 3 says, what role do I think emotions and stress play in language learning? So I think that emotions and stress can change how well you learn a language. For example, when someone feels calm and safe, they speak more, I don't know, more easily and make fewer mistakes. But when they feel nervous, they might forget words or what to say or stay quiet. And the second question says, if can I give examples of situations where I felt more or less confident when trying to speak English. For example, I would feel more confident speaking English with my friend Shani,
Mm-hmm.
but less confident in a big class with a lot of people because I might worry about me making mistakes.
Okay, thank you, Camila. Good. Anna, your turn.
Okay, the first question is, have you ever learned something new while listening to music or in a relaxed environment? Describe the experience and explain how the atmosphere might have affected your learning process. Well, basically, yes, I have learned something um new while listening music, but I prefer teacher honestly
Mm-hmm.
sing a song or
Mm-hmm.
dancing because it can help me to memorize some vocabulary, and also it helps me to reduce my stress or anxiety when I
Yeah.
study any kind of topic. For me, right? It's a little bit weird, but it's more effective for me.
Yeah. Something important that you have mentioned, it's one of the core principles of Suggestopedia, right? That it says that this method it's focused on a relaxed atmosphere by listening to music because it's in here where the human being, when the student, when the learner deliberates some neurons from his or her brain and study feel relaxed. Very good.
Exactly, exactly.
Okay, very good. Let's move on to next questions. Francisco, please read your question and then start providing your own answer.
Okay, sure. It says, describe a classroom activity where you had to use your body or physical movements to understand or practice something. Sorry. How did moving around help or hinder your comprehension? Uh, just one question before I answer, teacher. What is
Mhm.
hinder, by the way?
Kinder, it's like when you have some obstacles.
Oh, okay. Like an obstruction.
Yeah, something
Oh,
that
okay, okay.
provide difficulty in moving on.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Okay, so I remember when I was a kid, I was learning human the parts of the human body and every movement that we can do with the human body. So first we started learning the names of the human body. For example, head, arms, legs, feet,
Mm-hmm,
and so on. And then we have to apply the movement that we can use with that part of the body. For example, if the part that we were learning was hand, we had to clap because
mm-hmm,
that's what you do with your hands.
yeah,
Or another one, for example, if we're learning legs, then we do the actions that you can do with your legs: run, walk, jump, and so on.
mm-hmm. Okay,
And
good.
yeah, that's basically what.
Okay, thank you, Francisco.
Thank
Scarlett,
you.
your turn. Read the question first, okay?
Number, la 4.
Number five, the last one. If you were teaching someone a new language,
Okay. Okay. If you were teaching someone a new language, would you prefer to use verbal explanation, physical demonstration, or a combination of both? Use your choice based on what you know about how people learn. I will use both talking and action. First, I will say the word and then show the action. For example, I will say walk and then walk. I think this method is better because a student can listen and practice at the same time. Excuse me. It's made learning easier and more interesting.
okay, thank you. Thank you. Okay, now let's move on, folks, to the historical context and the origins of this Suggestopedia. Do you remember something about this method, folks, that we were discussing in the previous sessions? Who remembers? Remember, folks, that this method was developed by the Bulgarian psychologist Georgy Lazanov, right? As you can appreciate there, in the 1970s, right? Basically, folks, this psychologist believed that many students couldn't learn effectively because they felt stressed or anxious in the classroom, right? So his main idea, folks, was very simple. He said, when he was trying if this method worked or not, he said that if a student feels relaxed and confident, they'll probably learn faster and remember more. Something important that Anna mentioned at the beginning when she was answering the question, it's that in her case, she says that she learned more quickly by singing, right? By singing. So this is one of the way that we can deliberate some neurons from our brain and we can feel relaxed. Some others students do the same thing, but by listening to music, right? So this is that I would say, folks, that this is the the main core principle that Suggestopedia, right? So it is focused on relaxing the atmosphere, relaxing environments, right? And some of the core principles, folks, that we got for Suggestopedia, the first name, folks, let me tell you something. When Georgie Lozanov started implementing this method was the Suggestopedia. Okay. Why D? Because they were working, he was working, sorry, based on the lexical structure on his own language. Okay. So some of the core principles, folks, for Suggestopedia, as you can appreciate on the screen, folks, it's that this method creates a classroom where a student feel comfortable and safe. Okay, so this is not new for you. And here when using this method, folks, the teacher plays a very important role because a student need to trust the teacher and feel motivated. So teacher works as a motivator to the student, and if the student feel motivated, they can participate more, they can feel comfortable, and of course the class can be developed in the right way, right? Another principle, folks, or characteristics that we got for this method It's as we said before, as I said before, that it's focused on music, especially classical music, right? Because remember that this psychologist Lozanov believed that it helped students relax and improve their memory. So at the end, folks, the goal for this method, folks, is to make learning enjoyable instead of stressing. Okay. Let's move on to some classroom application of Suggestopedia. Do we have any volunteer for reading that, please?
Me.
Go ahead.
Um, the physical classroom environment is arranged to promote comfort, often with soft lighting and comfortable seating. Teachers present new vocabulary and dialogues in a theatrical, confident manner and establish authority and credible, ¿cómo es? Credibility. Credibility.
Credibly.
Credibility. Okay. Baroque music plays during presentation phases to create a rhythmic backdrop that embases memory encoding. And students engage with material through role playing, dramatization, and artistic activities rather than mechanical repetition. The method typically involves presenting material twice, once during a concert session with music and once during a post concert session. You should recognize that assessment in Suggestopedia focuses on communicative ability rather than grammatical accuracy.
Okay, good. Thank you. If you see, folks, the picture that we got on the screen, we can see that the environment in the classroom is very comfortable, right? So with soft lighting and relaxing, probably relaxing music, right? If you can appreciate there, folks, you can notice that students, instead of memorizing grammar rules or completing worksheets, they are participating, right? Probably that's a role play, that could be a debate, okay? Dialogues, and that according to the picture, we can see that that's a creative activity, right? So when we work like this, folks, when we use this method, learning becomes more interactive, and the main focus is communication rather than perfect grammar, right? As you can appreciate on the screen, on the picture. Now let's move on to uh reflection questions. And I need three volunteers for this one. The question says, do you think students really learn better when they feel relaxed, and why?
Me, teacher. I think that yes, because we don't feel the pressure to make mistake, and we create a relaxed environment to discuss a topic or a eh, think, no, pensamiento.
Thoughts?
Yes,
Shani, right?
yes.
Okay, thank you, Shani. Maciel, what do you think about this one? Do you think that students really learn better when they feel relaxed? Is it Maciel here? Marcela, what about you, Marcela?
And yes, and because I think students learn better when they feel relaxed and because they can focus more and participate without fear.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Marcela. Now let's move on to the other method, total physical response, better known as TPR, right? ¿Algún otro voluntario que me ayude a leer acá, chicos? Porfa.
Me,
Yo, profe.
teacher.
Vamos a darle la oportunidad a un chico. Dijo Francisco, fue, ¿verdad? El que habló, ¿no?
Sí,
Yes,
sí, pero si quiere ya leer ahorita, pues que lee la otra persona.
¿Quién fue el otro que dijo yo? A ver.
No,
No, ay, mi. Ay, no. Total response.
Camila, go ahead.
Total physical response was developed by American psychologist James Ussher in 1960s. Usher's research focused on how children acquire their first language through physical movement and gestures. He observed that young learners respond to commands and instructions before they produce language themselves. TPR emerged as a reaction against methods that prioritize speaking and writing from the earliest stages of learning. Usher theorized that comprehension precedes production in natural language acquisition. The method gained popularity in the 1970s and the 1980s and remains influential in contemporary language teaching.
Yes, thank you, Camila. Thank you. As you can appreciate, folks, third, so the TPR, total physical response, right, was developed by this American psychologist, James Asher, right, in the 1960s. He noticed, folks, that children understand language before they actually start speaking. So to be confidential with this method, the psychologist decided to start working with kids. Okay, so that's why that he noticed that kids understand language before they actually start speaking, and based on that idea, folks, he suggested that second language learners should also spend time listening and understanding before speaking. This is a little bit combined with Suggestopedia. So that's why that I made up my mind to include Suggestopedia as a novel overall review because this was discussed in the previous session, right? So let's see some of the core principles of total physical response here. Do we have another volunteer, please?
Wait, teacher.
Okay.
Okay. You should understand that comprehension-based learning forms the foundation of TPR methodology. The method emphasizes that learners acquire language through listening and responding physically before producing speech. Should I continue?
Yeah.
Okay. Asher believed that reducing learner stress through nonverbal responses creates optimal conditions for language acquisition. The right hemisphere of the brain, which processes spatial and kinesthetic information, is engaged through physical movement. Grammar is acquired implicitly through repeated exposure to the language patterns paired with physical actions. The teacher serves as a model and director, demonstrating actions while providing clear, comprehensible input.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Thank you. The main idea, folks, behind the TPR, as you know, is learning through actions, right? So that's why that these psychologists decide to work with kids. And even in our country, in primary school, most of the teacher use this one, right? So remember that using this method, folks, first a student listen, right, and then they respond with physical movement instead of speaking immediately. Something interesting, folks, that most of the teachers in primary school, I don't know if they know the name of this method, but they love using commands. For example, they say to the children, stand up, and everybody stands up, right? Sit down, everybody sits down. So they are common. At that moment, young learners are not repeating the word by through action, through practicing. They are gaining confidentiality, right? To start talking then. And remember that this reduces anxiety and makes learning much more natural. That's the focus of this one, movement. Okay. So, and some of the classroom application, folks, for TPR, as I said before, right? So if we go to Nicaraguan context in primary school, so the most of the teacher use commands, right? Like standing up, open your book, touch your head, touch your finger, touch your peer, and so on. This is based on the level, so you can implement some phrases and some complicated words like verbs, like actions, right? Because remember that as they improve, they begin giving commands to their classmates, right? And teacher, also speaking, folks, teacher can use pictures, real objects. I don't know if you have heard about realia. Realia is one of the technique, folks, that we can implement inside of the classroom using real objects, right? Real objects, that's the name realia. Or even teacher can use short stories to make the lesson more meaningful and engagement, okay? So a short comparative analysis, folks, between Suggestopedia and TPR, we can say, folks, that they have some similarities. Probably you have noticed that. Remember that both try to reduce students' anxiety and make learning more natural, right? However, however, Suggestopedia, folks, remember that the focus is on creating a relaxed atmosphere, while TPR focuses on learning through physical movements. So, in other words, folks, we can say that one emphasizes the mind and emotions, and the other one emphasizes actions and comprehensions. That makes sense, right? Let's see some of the strengths, limitations, and modern applications. So something important, folks, here, it's that when using, we can say, folks, that Suggestopedia is excellent for creating a positive learning environment, while TPR works especially well with beginners and young learners, as I said before, right? On the other hand, folks, something that we cannot omit, it's that Suggestopedia. I don't know if you have read on some websites, but probably you have noticed that Suggestopedia doesn't have a strong scientific evidence for all of its techniques, and the TPR may not be enough to develop advanced speaking and writing skills. So this one can be applied with young children, okay, just to motivate, to activate a student, and when they gained confidentiality in speaking, so we can implement others, right? So that's why, folks, that's why I don't know if you remember in the previous classes that I said that there are some teachers that nowadays they prefer to combine those methods, right? I don't know if you remember the name that I said when we combined two methods. You remember that? ¿Recuerdan eso, chicos?
Mm, No, not really, teacher.
Que cuando combinamos dos métodos se llama el método ecléctico.
Ah, y ahora sí, más o menos. Sí, sí.
Eso lo mencioné, creo, en la clase, ¿no? ¿Por qué
Sí,
se hace,
ya me acordé que sí.
por qué se hace esto, chicos? Por lo mismo, ¿verdad? Que hemos venido hablando de que algunos métodos son buenos para esto, pero tienen esta otra limitante. El otro es bueno para esto, pero tiene esta otra limitante. Entonces lo que se hace es una combinación de actividades, ¿verdad? Para poder desarrollar y cubrir todas esas barreras como tal, ¿vale? Entonces, chicos, eso ha sido todo por el día de hoy. No olviden revisar la plataforma, ¿verdad? Ahí tienen documentos al respecto. Tenemos tarea también, tratemos de completarla en tiempo y forma. Ahorita después de la sesión la voy a habilitar, ¿verdad? Para que esté visible a ustedes y así luego procedan ustedes a realizar dicha tarea y a cumplir, ¿verdad? Con ella. Y cualquier cosa, cualquier duda, pues lo miramos en la próxima clase, ¿vale?
Bye,
Sí,
teacher.
teacher.
Okay, bye. Have a good night.